Hello everyone, welcome to class with the Math Demystify. In today's class, we are going to be continuing with the topic profit and loss. For today's lesson, we are going to learn how to find the cost price and the selling price. In a previous lesson, we wrote the formulae each for the profit and the loss. And we said profit is equal to selling price minus cost price, which means to get profit, the selling price must be greater than the cost price. Similarly, loss is cost price minus selling price, which means to get the loss, the cost price must be greater than the selling price. Now, we are going to see how to rearrange each of these formulas such that we change the subject. That is, we're either writing to find the selling price or the cost price, and that is changing of subject of formula. We're writing the formula to get the expression for either the selling price or the cost price. Now, from my past experience with learners, I've found that because of the many formulae that we're going to get here, they mix them up. So I've devised a method that will help them not to try to memorize the many formulae we have. Instead, just focus on these two original formulae for the profit and for the loss. Then they can rearrange by doing something. And what do they have to do? Think of any number. Let's say I have 2 representing the profit I've made. And think of any other 2 numbers that when you subtract one from the other, you get 2. So you can choose, let's say, 7 and 5. So 7 will take the place of selling price, and 5 will take the place of cost price. So with this, we can ask ourselves questions. Supposing I want to find 7, what do I do with the 2 numbers? You observe that you can get 7 when you add 5 and 2, which means 7, which stands for selling price. You can now say selling price equal to 7 is got to when I add 5 and 2, that is cost price plus profit. And I can also say again, supposing I want to get my cost price, that is 5 this time around, what do I do with these 2 numbers? What do I do with these 2 numbers? I do 7 minus 2, which means if I want to get cost price, which is represented by 5, I do 7, that says selling price minus profit. Similarly, you can also do that for the loss equation, which is, you still do the same thing. You can say, okay, let's think of a number 2, which represents my loss. What 2 numbers can I have such that when I subtract one from the other, I get 2? You can still pick the same number, 7 for cost price and 5 for selling price. So if I want to write the equation so that I make cost price the subject, sorry, let's start with selling price. If I want to make selling price the subject, I have to do 7 minus 2. So which means if I want to get selling price, I have to do cost price, which is represented by 7, minus 2, which is represented by the loss. Similarly, to get the cost price, that means to get 7, what do I do to the other 2 numbers to get 7? I do 5 plus 2, that is selling price plus loss. So you can see we have 4 additional equations. So that's what just do to help you remember these other formulas. So you can see selling price is cost price plus profit, or selling price is cost price minus loss. This is for the case when you are given profit and cost price. This is for the case where you are given loss and cost price. Cost price equals selling price minus profit, or cost price equals selling price plus loss. This is for the case where you have profit, where you are given the profit and selling price, and this is for the case when you are given the selling price and the loss. With all these formulae, we can now confidently solve problems requiring you to find either the cost price or selling price. Now let's look at some questions, and these questions, they are worded questions, and we're also going to learn how to extract the parameters from these worded questions. So the first one, a trader sold a book for £2.50, that is £2.50, and made a profit of £0.85, that is 85 pence. And it says find the cost price. So in this case, we have the selling price because it says sold a book for 2.50. So selling price is £2.50. Then we have the profit equals £0.85. Now we asked to find the cost price. So the cost price is what we're required to find. So what we do is we look for the equation that suits this problem. We are required to find the cost price, and we're given the selling price and the profit. And that equation is, you can see cost price is selling price minus profit. So selling price minus profit. Cost price equals selling price minus profit. So selling price is 2.50 minus profit 0.85. Now let's subtract. We cannot subtract 5 from 0. So this is units, this is tenth, this is hundredth. So in the hundredth place, we have 5. Can't take away 5 from 0, so we have to borrow from this 10th position. Taking away 1/10, we have 4/10 left. But if we take 1/10, convert it to hundredth, it becomes 10 hundredth. So we have that. So 10 minus 5 gives us 5. Now we cannot take away 8/10 from 4/10. We borrow again from 1 unit. If I remove 1 unit here, I have 1 unit left. That 1 unit converted to tenth is 10/10 plus the 4/10 here, that makes it 14. So 14 minus 8, that gives us 6. Then 1 minus 0, 1 unit minus 0 units gets 1. So it means my cost price is 1.65 pounds. Let's look at another question. The next question says, a shopkeeper bought a pair of shoes for $24.50 and sold it at a profit of $8.75. Find the selling price. So in this case, it says the shopkeeper bought a pair. So buying implies that you are spending money. So that's the cost price. So the cost price is $24.50. Now we're told it made a profit, sold it at a profit. So the profit is given as $8.75, which means $8.75. Now we're asked to find the selling price. So we ask ourselves, what equation or what formula do we use? We are given the profit and the cost price, and we have to find the selling price. So selling price is a subject. So if you look at the one that has cost price and profit, That's the formula. So selling price, so our selling price equals cost price plus what? Profit. So we have to add these two. So we arrange the digits properly in their correct positions. We have 24.50 plus 8.75. So if we add them up, this is tenths, unit, tenth, and hundredth. So if we add the hundredth, 5 plus 0 is 5. For the tenth, 5 plus 7 is 12. Write down 2. Write 2 tenths, move 1 unit here. So 1 plus 4, 5 plus 8, that gives us 13. Write 3 and move 1 here, because 13 units means 110 and 3 units. So keep 3 units here and move the 110 to the 10 position or 10th position. So we add 1 and 2 together with 3. So it means that our selling price is 33.25 dollars. This time we're dealing in dollars. So that's the selling price. So let's look at a third example. The bag was bought for $35.80 and sold at a loss of $4.25. Find the selling price. So in this case, a bag was bought, so we're spending money. It means that is the cost price. So cost price is 35 plus $0.80, and we are told the loss here is $4.25. Now we have to find the selling price. So selling price. Now you ask yourself, we are given the cost price and the loss. We are meant to find the selling price. So which of the equations do we use, or which of the formulae do we use? Now you can see that selling price cost is equal to cost price minus loss. So this is the equation we are using. So our selling price equals cost price minus loss. And what's the cost price is 35.80. We arrange the digits correctly in their positions. Then the loss minus the loss is 4.25. Now I want to subtract. So we have tenths, unit, tenth, and hundredth. So for the hundreds, you can't take away 5 from 0 hundreds. You borrow 1/10 from here to be left with 7/10. Now the 1/10 you're converting to hundredth becomes 10 hundredth. So 10 here. So 10 minus 5 gives us 5. And we'll do 7 minus 2 is 5. Then 5 minus 4 is 1. 3 minus nothing is here, so we have 3. So it means our selling price is $31.55. That is $31.55. And we'll do the last example. This one says a woman sold a table for 56,000 naira at a loss of 7,500 naira. So in this case, the woman sold a table, so that selling price is 56,000 naira, and made a loss, that is at a loss of 7,500 500 naira. Now we have to find the cost price. So cost price, we have to find the cost price. So what do? We look at this problem. We have the selling price given, the loss is given, and we want to find the cost price. Let's look at which of the equations will suit this problem. So we have a cost price, selling price, and loss. So this is the equation: cost price equals selling price plus loss. So the cost price, for us to have loss, means the cost price is greater than the selling price, and the difference is the loss we have made. So we have to add them up. So our cost price equals selling price plus loss. So the cost price equals selling price plus loss. So we have the selling price is 56,000. We ignore the naira sign. 56,000 plus 7,500. 7,500. So we add up and we have 0 plus 0, 0 for the tens. 0 plus 0, we have 0, 100, 0 plus 5, we have 5. For the 1,000, that's units of 1,000, 6 plus 7, we have 13, right down 3. 13,000 means 110,000 plus 3,000. So move 110,000 here and keep the remaining 3 units of 1,000 here. So for the tens of 1,000, I have 1 plus 5, that's 6, 6 tenths of 1,000. So my answer is 63,500. Now you can see the cost price is greater than the selling price because of the loss made in this problem. Alright, that is how we find the selling price and the cost price, depending on whether you are given the loss or the profit. So you just start with the main, you can just start with the main equation or the main formula for profit and loss. You rearrange to find the expression for selling price. If it's selling price, you are required to find, or cost price. If it is cost price, you are required to find. I hope you enjoyed this class. Goodbye and see you next time. You can pause the video and do the practice question.